To do a toolbox tour. This is to go over the tools that I'm currently using. I started Midlothian Mobile Mechanic. I've done 5 jobs. I've invoiced just over $1,300. And I just want to show everyone you don't need the best tools, the most tools, even all the tools to get started. So one, I'm going to be increasing my tools that I have. I definitely have my list. I'm wanting to get to a net of $1,000 saved before I kind of start investing more into some better tools. But before I get to that point, I want to show everyone you don't need everything to get started. And I have stuff from, Lowe's, from Home Depot, from Harbor Freight, from Amazon, Walmart, just whatever I was able to get, right? So to start, this has been the main toolbox I've used. It is just a steel Craftsman generic toolbox. I painted it so this actually stays up when you flip it, which is nice. And inside, I got this used from Restore. It's Habitat for Humanity. It was $10, so it's 22 to 10, I think, and 3/8. The only one it was missing was the 13, so I had to get a Craftsman 13 and slot it in there, but not bad for $10. I have some larger 1/2-inch sockets in here, 24, I think 19 to 24. They're 12. I prefer 6, but I got it on Black Friday. I think 19. I got it Black Friday this past year, 2025. So it came with a bunch of extensions, which is really why I bought it. It came with some other stuff as well. So I have my 1/2-inch. This is Husky brand ratchet. It's nothing great, but it does the job. And I have my 3/8 as well. And then I just bought this the other day. It is for pulling off those annoying plastic clips from Craftsman. I got it at Lowe's. Before I was using these panel nylon kit from Harbor Freight. So these worked pretty well, but it's nice to have a dedicated tool. I have a radiator hose puller. I've had this since like 2013, 2014. I mean, I've had it for forever. I don't even remember where I bought it. I had a 2004 Xterra, and I ended up needing to do a radiator. It overheated and had a leak in my radiator while I was about 4 hours from home in West Virginia. So I pulled off into a Walmart. Actually, maybe that's where I bought it from. I'm not even sure. I bought this Stanley toolkit, and there was an AutoZone there too. I think it was an AutoZone, and I was able to get all the parts I needed. So I took this with me starting out too. So it's another 3/8, and it's got just your basic sockets, nothing, no deep well, it's all right, but hey, it gets the job done, right? That when you start out, you just need stuff that'll get the job done. So, I think it was under $10. So I have a grocery store called Lidl, and they sell something called Parkview tools. You'll see it right here, or hold on, what's the name? What's it? Parkside. So you'll see Parkside right there. And they're just some very thin ratcheting wrenches. So very affordable. But I mean, it's not a very tight on the claw end, so I would not trust that. It would probably round over bolts like nobody's business. And it didn't come as a full set, so I have a 14. We have a 17. This is just a 19 steel ratchet. I actually got for like $1. I don't remember where. Like it was like a yard sale or something. A 13 in ratchet, and then I have I think a 9 and a 10. Yeah, it's a 10 and a 9. So other things I have up here in the top is I have some extensions, mostly 3/8 is primarily what I use. I have some like 1/2-inch to 3/8. I have some smaller sockets that I might use, like a 1/4-inch sockets, just for some of those tinier bolts. I use this hex a lot, so I just kind of keep it up here. It is a 8. I have an impact socket for a 21. Have some spark plug sockets, one there and one here. Universal joint for 3/8. Let's see, I have magnet for if I lose a bolt. Telescoping, I have just a generic hole bolt. Screwdriver, Phillips and flathead. I think that's mostly what I have up in the top. I have this little screwdriver. I kind of use it to pry things off. It's just a flathead. It's an old one. I've had it for forever. And then if we go into the box, I have some gloves. Got these from Costco. Came in like a 3 or a 4 pack. I got these also from Lidl. They're the Parkside, but they're just some safety goggles. Highly recommend. I have gotten stuff in my eye because I haven't been wearing them. Harbor Freight, just a box of fuses. It's actually been a bit annoying. I've never actually ended up using any of these because they're never the right size. I either need smaller ones or bigger ones. Some various funnels for coolant or oil. And then I have my other set of hexes. So I'm not sure what all the sizes are, but I have quite a bit. So again, I think these were just from Walmart. It says it's gearhead, and like this is a H3. It's a 3/8. This is a 4. They're all through 1/2 inch, no 3/4. That's a 4, etc. So just an assortment of them. It came in a set. I have some oil wrenches. I have that one and this one. This is Hyper Tough. This one is also Hyper Tough, so Walmart. Cheap multimeter from Harbor Freight. I needed that. Someone's car wouldn't start, so I wanted to make sure that there was 12 volts going to the starter, so I was able to use this to confirm that, and it ended up being the starter, so I had to replace the starter. Cheap battery / alternator tester from Harbor Freight. I will say I used it once and it gave me a bad battery, but the battery was actually fine. It was the starter that was the issue. So take it for what it's worth. It was like $7, but I have a scan tool. This I got from Napa. It's been fantastic. You can read live data. I did a coolant flush for someone. Their car was overheating. They had a fuse blow for their front radiator. So when they got stuck in traffic or were idling, their temperature would creep up. But when I did the coolant flush for them, I was able to monitor the coolant temperature via the scan tool, which was great. Vice grips, always needed. I've used these quite a bit already. Some extra sockets down here, like this is a 15. These are some of my deep sockets I have. I pulled these from my Husky tool set, which I'll show you in a second. So really just kind of like the main ones, all 3/8. So 15, 13, 14. I think it's 12 to 15 is all. 12, 13, 14, 15. That's all I have. That's all that set came with. I don't have any more. It's one of the things I want to get. For like a serpentine belt, getting that off. A Schrader valve. Sometimes you'll need this. Just have it in there. Pipe wrench. I've used this more times than I can count when I've needed to get an oil filter off that was just stuck. And then just like an O-ring pick comes in handy. I've used it for a few other things. And I think the last thing I have in here is this wire brush for just cleaning, like if I'm doing brakes. It's very soft. Honestly, I need something that's a little better, a little stronger on the bristles, and just a generic cheap mallet. I need to get like a dead blow, something heavier. But this is the box I grab. And you'd be surprised at just what you can do / how much money you can make with just these tools. Like you don't always need, everything under the sun to get started. And I think that's my point is, this is what I've started with. I didn't even start with this. I've added to this. I didn't have the fuses. I didn't have the goggles. I didn't have the multimeter when I started. And I've gotten a few tools as I've gone, as long as I'm making money and I'm not spending more on tools than I am making in the job. So, it's going to creep up. I actually have a new box coming today. It's the Gearhead 3 drawer. So I'm going to end up swapping some of this stuff over to that. So I've used this, and then I'll show you guys some other stuff that I have. So speaking of tools, so I showed you this, the Stanley box. I also have this Husky box from, again, like 2014 or something like that. It's really old. I did a serpentine belt on that 04 Xterra as well, and just started doing car work there. So inside you can see I grabbed some of these deep sockets. I guess I actually could probably grab the 17, and then could grab some of these as well, the smaller sizes. I don't have a 1/4 inch drive though in my bag, so, but it's got wrenches, and then additional just 1/2 and 3/8, and then here's my 1/4. I just decided to keep my toolbox a little smaller. I wasn't really using it that much. I had some of this in here and some other sockets, but really, you'd be surprised at what you can do with just a metric set. So like this set exactly, this goes from, I think 8. You see, 9. This goes from 9 to 22. And what you can just do with 9 to 22 and a 3/8 ratchet is like, you'd be surprised. It's fantastic. And then for car jack and stands, again, had this for forever. These are the Walmart cheapo. You know, you can see how rusted the casters are and everything. I forget even the brand. What is this? It's a Blackjack. That's right. So I have a 3-ton Blackjack and then the Pro Series 3-ton jack stands. So again, nothing super fancy. Didn't cost me a ton of money. I've had it for forever. It gets me the job, right? It allows me to do the work. And as I increase my revenue, I 100% plan on getting nicer jack stands. But until then, you know, like, these will get me the job. They'll allow me to do the work, and I'll keep growing, right? Like, that's really all it is use what you have, you know, buy what you can afford. And it might seem annoying, trust me, like, I would love to, you know, I have a few tools in mind. Like, I'd love to get the Milwaukee stubby 3/8 or 1/2, but like, that's a lot of money to spend, and I could get like a better, like, all-around hand tool set. So like, there's the Craftsman Overdrive series. There's like a almost 300 piece set that I'd love to get. Comes with wrenches, like deep and shallow sockets, 1/2 inch, 1/4. I need to get some impact sockets, and let's see what else. So like a pivot I could do is like Cobalt. They have a $80 impact. They're 2 4-amp batteries with a charger on sale right now, and then they also have an electric ratchet. So is it Milwaukee? No. Does it perform to the level of Milwaukee? No. But will it help me be faster at my job? And is it more affordable? Yes. So, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes you just gotta go with what you can afford in the moment, and then as I grow and as I, you know, increase the business and as I make more money, you know, I can then potentially sell those or keep them in my garage at home and buy the Milwaukee ones to bring with me, right? Like, it all depends on like your outlook with it. So I just want to encourage everyone, like, if you want to start a mobile mechanic business, one, get insurance. I got insurance, I believe it's nationwide. I got like a $2 million policy per year, and $1 million per claim, max. So it's a 2-1, and it was the same price as like their dirt cheap one. Like, it didn't matter, so I just went with that. And then I also got my LLC. I live in Virginia. It was $100. I just went through the state website, filed for my LLC, got my EIN number. I don't need to pass any testing to do this prior. And if I did, I could potentially do it. My background is I took auto mechanic class in high school. So I almost went to an auto school. Out of high school, decided to go to college. Did the college route, worked on cars like from high school through, like, family, friends, you know, my own cars. And, you know, I work in IT now and just ready to kind of get my hands dirty. I miss getting my hands dirty and honestly just helping people, being around people. I have gotten 3 Google reviews, all 5 stars. One person said he would trust me to work on any of his cars, and I'll show that review here. I never went to his house. I never put a wrench to his car. I helped him fully through a phone call and text for him to fully diagnose, figure out, and solve his problem. and he was extremely happy with me, and you know, he said like he'll use me moving forward, and he went and left me this awesome review, and like I literally all I did was text with him and help him out. So you know, if you enter this with the idea of helping someone, not making a ton of money, genuinely just like being there for people, it might be slow to start, but like word of mouth spreads. He's like, I'm gonna tell everyone I know about you. So I would rather help him out and gain that positive review, and now I have a word of mouth referral, which is better than any other kind of referral. And that will grow my business more than if I went out, figured it out, and charged him, I think, you know. So separate from that, I've also, like, I recommend if you're starting, get a Google profile, put yourself on Google Maps. I've gotten lots of calls from that from Google. I also created a website via a website builder I made. So I'll put a link in that in the description. Maybe I can briefly show the website at the end of this if anyone's interested. But it's also very cheap to do. I made it, so if anyone has any questions, leave a comment. Like, I can tinker around and tool with the builder to really however you want it to be, because I'm the one who made it. So, you know, I recommend getting a website. I have it where you can link your Google profile, and then I also have search engine optimization in the website built in, which really helps also with your Google rankings and your searches. I also recommend, this is maybe getting outside the scope of this video, the area I live in is Midlothian, Virginia, and so I gave my business a name that I knew people were going to Google. So Midlothian Mobile Mechanic is my business name. That's my EIN. Midlothian Mobile Mechanic LLC. So if I'm in my area and I'm like, oh shit, I need a mobile mechanic because my radiator hose like leaked, right, whatever, and now I'm stranded in my Dodge 1500, my Ram, like Midlothian Mobile Mechanic, I pop up, and it's fantastic. And that's, you know, perfectly an example of a job that I've done, right? So anyway, that's all. That's the toolbox I have. Get started. If it's something you're interested in, I highly recommend getting insurance. You don't want to be stuck getting sued if you mess up. And then, like I said, like, work on gaining initial cash capital. So like if I have $1,000 in cash to start, that means if I mess up on someone's engine, or I have to eat the cost on a poor diagnosis, or like I buy a part, repair their car, and it's still not fixed, like I would rather be honest and eat the cost of some of those things. And so like in order to do that, you have to have cash. Like, don't just spend the money you make. You have to build up that cash. So I'm going to get to $1,000. I've had to buy little things, but not like the big things I want. But once I get to that $1,000, my profit at that point is going to go half into building that savings and the other half invested back into the business. So like if I'm at $1,000 in my savings account and I have a job where I net $500, I'm going to spend $250 on tools, and I'm going to put $250 in the account. I'm going to slowly continue to grow that, as well as then really start investing in my business. One other thing that I've been doing is I paid for ARI auto repair software. I got a discount for it to be $30 a month, and it has been fantastic. This is what it looks like. It's loading. Whoops. And it won't work, but you get to put in vehicles. It gives you labor hours, so I have a labor rate, and that's how I send my invoices, so it looks very professional. I'll send an invoice to someone. It'll give me cost for parts. I have like a part matrix, so like I increase the percentage based on the values, and maybe I'll do a separate video on all of that. But I've really enjoyed that, and it really has enabled me to look professional, right? Even though I just started, like, here's your very professional looking invoice. So anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm planning on posting a lot more about my business, so if you're interested in what tools I get and how I continue to grow, follow along. And that's all I got. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks.